everybody. Walt and I are still in North Carolina on vacation.
Yep.
And would you believe it if we told you that we found a race to go to tonight? So we are checking out, what is it called, Walt? Harris Speedway?
I think it's Harris County Speedway, or not county, Harris Motor Speedway.
Harris Motor
1.1
Speedway.
miles, turn right onto Jack McKinney Road.
Nothing too crazy, just well, it's no different than be like a regular show at Devil's Bowl, I guess. It's 602
just
late
weekly
models.
racing.
Yeah, 602 late models. They're street stocks, which down here the street stocks are really cool. They have aftermarket bodies and stuff on them. So those, and then some of the other support divisions, but we couldn't go to a state and not watch a race.
Yeah.
You know, so
So
it's
we're gonna
kind
check it out.
Yeah, the weather's been kind of crappy, but they're still holding out. It's not raining up here. Everywhere else is canceled down where we were, closer to Charlotte. So we drove north a little bit. So
Yep.
we'll check it out. Get to see them sling some red clay.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. So stay tuned to see kind of what we're about to see tonight. And if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll show you what racing in North Carolina is all about.
Yeah, we should have brought a cage mount. We could have stuck a GoPro in somebody's car,
That would have been cool.
but we didn't. So,
No.
Oh well, we'll get some cool footage and check out another racetrack. It'll be a place we can check off the list that we've been to watch at least, and maybe someday we'll race here. Who knows?
You never
You
know.
never know. It seems like the dirt modified stuff up by us is going to different tracks farther away. So it'd be cool to race a little more in North Carolina.
It would be. It'd be really cool.
Turn
And
right
we'd have a
onto
place
Jack
to stay
McKinney
close
Road.
by, so
Yeah.
that's always a plus.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is very innovative. They put little screens over the fence, that way they don't get as dirty. Very interesting. What division's out there right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a lot of Camaros. I think that's a Nova. A lot of 80s. I would call it a street stock division. This guy's pretty sharp right here. I don't think Heather got a good view of it, but
Kinda.
she'll work on it.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess they're working the track.
And then hot laps will be coming right up.
Yeah.
So we'll show you some action from that.
Yeah, they're not afraid of water here, I can tell you that, 'cause they have a 53-foot water truck. So, that's cool.
That is cool.
So, looks like there's not a great car count, but looks like, I'm guessing the weather didn't help that either. Because it rained all the way here. So, we'll see.
up, we have the Thunder Bombers. There's like 15 of these. Should be good. call laps are over. Yep. What are your first impressions, Walt?
The track's cool. Like I said, it's got a ton of bite. Down here, they believe in water. So, but it doesn't tear up because it's pounded down so hard. So, just a different surface. But pretty neat racetrack. I don't know, it's probably I guess a third mile. There's some banking, so you run around the top over at like 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You kind of run wherever. But it's a pretty neat place. They run street stocks like we run 4 cylinders down here. There's about three 4-cylinder cars. And then the rest, I don't know, they've had 4 different divisions of street stocks. Some that look like stock Camaros, some with aftermarket bodies, some with some big horsepower by the sounds, which is pretty cool to watch.
We stopped naming them because we were probably getting it all wrong.
Yeah, I know they have the Crate Racing USA street stocks, but I don't know what those would fall under here. And those have like a bird transmission and pretty... I mean, they're damn near a pro stock of where we are, the pro stock division of the Northeast. Just different bodies and stuff like that. So, pretty neat division. It's unfortunate they only have like 602 late models. So, but
Those were fun to watch.
yeah, they're fun to watch. They're quick, especially with the track being locked down. So we'll see what qualifying's got next. It's a pretty cool place though. There's not a ton of people here, but with so many racetracks in North Carolina, I think sometimes that happens. Same with car count, and I think Cherokee is running tomorrow, so I don't know how that works because we don't know a whole lot about it. And so we'll check it out, and see what else we can get some cool footage of. It's kind of cool to come to another racetrack with red clay on it.
And two more over there. Also from Minnesota. We got enough people from Minnesota here to have advantage as well.
So Walt and I did not travel the furthest to come to this race today. There are people from Minnesota here.
Yeah, and I guess it's colder in Minnesota too.
Yeah, negative 26.
Yep.
So we'll take this kind of chilly weather here at the track today over negative 26 or whatever we have at home too.
I think it was 8 this morning.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to going back to that tomorrow.
Time we're underway. another spot. He'll go to the outside. He's going to go to the inside now, trying to get Hartman. Can he go from fourth to first in one lap? Yes, he does. Not supposed to be three on the inside, and tried to get a jump on him again. It didn't work that time. The accident 45 couldn't get her. Bailey hip up to second now. Fighting for control on that 45. He'll lead lap one. Abernathy battling with a 23 of Lambert. Getting ready to go green, so we'll pick the contest up after this. You two stay right here. Green flag, here we go. And 99 Sizemore trying to hold off Frank Baldwin. One car we better bring us foot around. Jacob Leonard. Stagnant in there, 3-5. Josh Harris out front, Jonathan Butler ride second, then Mitchell Parrish. Ethan Henley having a good ride. He's up in the 4th spot. Seth three off turn forward, Josh Harris, your winner in front wheel drive. Up next, Wally Fowler bringing them into turn 4, street stock. Looking for the green flag this time. Got to get between the cones. Green flag will race to Harris. Fowler through the gears. Gets a jump on Bruce Jackson. Jackson dives down the inside. A little bit of contact over turn 1. Only able to hold it. Travis Coggins trying to hold off Kyle Cooper. Behind him, look out, Coggins gets the ball. Coggins out of speed. Travis Coggins, a lot of sheet metal damage on the right side. Bring it home, White flag, 1 to go. Jackson closing in. Wally Fowler trying to hold him off. Off turn 2 is Wally Fowler. He's in the 3. Andy Moore, Josh Milton lead them off into turn 1. Milton trying to roll to the outside, get around Andy Moore. He'll do it. The wheel machine. That Link's machine. She may have found the missing link. Car coming out front. Going away, white flag. 1 to go. Melton holding on to race lead. Isaac White, not 4 cars in the turn 2. Melton bring it home. He'll do it. Josh Melton, your winner. Andy Moore. Just in time, 602 late models, green flag. Ruggiero on the brake.
the races are over here at Harris Motor Speedway. What'd you think, Walt?
I think with some more car count, it'd be pretty good racing. For as much as it rained today, the track was actually in really good shape. I mean, it was hammered down, but I think that's pretty normal down here. It doesn't slick up as much. I think because when it does get slick, you see it like Cherokee, it gets abrasive. But there wasn't that chance today with the amount of rain that we got.
No. I liked one guy in Victory Lane. He said, "Yeah, it's a little rough in a 3 and 4."
Yeah.
And compared to
compared to some of the
tracks up north,
like, some of the spring bumps that we get, you know, at the tracks, just because we have frost. I'm like, that's not rough. That's a half-inch hole. Right. But you know, it's their own. It's different.
It's what they're
down
used
here.
to, right?
So, a lot of street stock divisions. I was kind of disappointed. There's only 602 late models. And with talking to a guy that races here or whatever, there's not a huge field of them anyways, which is kind of disappointing. But I don't know if it's pay or something like that.
I don't know. They said their next race, this was like the Winter Rumble. Their next race is in the middle of March, so maybe it's not a track that runs weekly.
Yeah.
And they just do select shows, so who knows?
Know.
They did a lot for the kids. They were constantly giving out stuff for the kids, having the kids come up and do little contests, so that's really neat. I'd like to see that more around home too, just because kids are the future of our sport, and to get them involved at a young age is so important, and get them to come back. And
and it's tough sometimes. We don't see what they do at the tracks because we're in the pits. Now they're shooting off cannons.
Wow.
So we don't see some of that stuff. I'll pull up here in the park. I gotta put the directions in anyways.
Oh yes.
So you see things, you know, they're different. And that's pretty cool. Some of the street stock divisions they have down here are really cool because they have like a aftermarket outlaw style body on them, big motors. It's not a crate division, so the racing I think is a little more dicey because the dude might have more power than you, but you have more grip. And unfortunately around us now, the crate motor, it was so affordable. Now it's really not. I mean, I heard a new crate motor now is almost $7,000. When I bought my first one, it was $2,800, and they haven't changed. They're still a Mexican-made factory motor. But that's a whole nother subject. You know, you can build good horsepower for pretty short money now. And I think the guys down here, they still do in some divisions, and that's really cool. So there's more. There wasn't really any 4-cylinder divisions down here. It's all street stocks. They do have the Crown Vic division.
Which Devil's Bowl is going to run a Crown Vic division. So that was neat to kind of see what that would look like. And
and it was pretty good racing, you know, with those guys. I was, when I first thought about it, I was like, meh, you know, all right. But with it being a rear-wheel drive V8 division, it was pretty good racing. And a good, cheap entry-level division, too. You know, you put a cage in a car and, you know, modify a couple things for safety and race. So they're probably building a car for under $3,000, you know. For us nowadays, we have $3,000 in the wheels and tires. So that's cool. You know, it's a good affordable way to get somebody interested in racing, and that might be where some people can afford to race and thrive, and that's awesome. You know, and you might get some people that it lights a fire under them and they work their way up the ladder. But it's good to have an entry-level division like that, and I think it's even better because it's a rear-wheel drive V8 car. Because anything after the front-wheel drive 4-cylinder stuff is a rear-wheel drive car. So for somebody that wants to move up, it's a good stepping stone. Nothing against the front-wheel drive cars because they put on a good show too, you know, and they're cheap and affordable. So yeah, you know, pretty nice being a spectator. It was a little bit chilly, you know, it was 50.
A couple of people did have their heaters out.
I've seen some portable heaters.
I've been to the track much colder than it is today, but it's chilly down here for everyone that lives in the south.
It's going to be colder tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're leaving.
So it's supposed to be like 25 tomorrow, and we got a foot of snow. So we're flying out tomorrow, and you have to check out some more videos. We got some good tech tip videos coming up. We got Stuart's car to work on now. Now that you guys have seen that video, there's a lot of work to do to that one. Just getting it squared away to me being comfortable in the cockpit. We got to put a new seat in it. Move the pedals around because the fellow that drove it I think was like 5'8" and I'm 6'4", so the pedals and stuff need to be in a different location. And just updating some stuff, so we got a lot of work to do with that. And then, you know, our own cars, we're kind of waiting on parts right now. We got transmissions out, rear ends out, so we're waiting on parts to come back, so we're kind of a little bit of a standstill.
Yes.
You know, it's tough. You kind of work your way out of the cars, you know, so we'll when we get the parts back, hopefully this coming week or coming up, we'll kind of shoot for where we're going to race. We had kind of talked about racing at Bridgeport, but people are kind of backed up on rebuilds and stuff, and we might have been a little late to the draw getting them there. But it's been so nuts with work, it's just kind of caught us. So we'll see what we can do. If not, you know, we'll start racing come hell or high water. So spring's coming.
It is. All right, one last question. If the dirt modifieds came down here and raced, would you bring your car down?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's a cool track. You know, they run against the wall all the time.
Yeah, that's neat.
It's
I don't think I've ever
banked.
actually seen that, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mentioned to Heather, I'm like, around us, you don't see anybody run right against the fence because any track we go to usually doesn't have a wall around the outside. So they literally run, you know, pretty close to against the wall. Some of the street stocks were bouncing it off the wall. So that was cool to see. And I would imagine they have some super late model shows here. Those are probably really good. Yeah. You know, with guys hitting the cushion and building a cushion. And so one thing down here that we see a lot is they build a cushion and they don't grade it off. Some tracks, I don't know why, it irritates the crap out of me up around home, close to home. It'll start to build a cushion and it'll be good, you know. One racetrack in particular, and then they'll go out and grade it right clean off. And it just kind of kills the racing because it's so small. You know, the bigger tracks, it doesn't build a cushion because they're so big, like a Devil's Bowl or a Fonda. There's usually not a cushion because it's a half, 5/8 mile. But some of the bull rings, when they build a cushion, that's the best racing you're going to get because it makes you have a top line, makes you have a bottom line, you know, so you can dice back and forth. So, I don't know, they don't do that down here. So, and I don't know, maybe it's just a difference in the surface and they're afraid guys are going to wreck, but some of the bull rings, you got to leave the cushion to keep the racing going good. And as drivers, you learn to respect the cushion, because if you don't respect the cushion, you can end on your roof or in the fence. But that's just kind of part of it, I feel. So, but again, we're south of the Mason-Dixon right now, and we race north of the Mason-Dixon, so everything's different. Divisions are different and everything. So, but it was cool. It was cool to come check out a local racetrack here, and it only took 3 hours. So yeah,
super short show, so that's nice too.
Yeah. I don't know about the restarts. It's a little different.
Oh yeah, the restarts were really different. So at the original start, they would start right at the flag stand, but then after every restart after that, it was single file, and they started
like on the back stretch.
Yeah.
It was kind of a free for all. I've never seen that, but again, different racetrack, their rules.
Right.
So we don't.
The drivers know those rules, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I would imagine it probably plays a big role in some of the races, you know, because if you don't get a good start on the backstretch, you probably lose a lot of positions. So, but yeah, so we'll be back at it here shortly when we get back home. So
yes.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.